All right, so let's first talk about the Avata and the firmware. Just a quick plug again, DroneWorks. Oops, there goes the Avata. So I just did two things actually for the DJI Avata. I installed the .200 firmware on this, and I'm gonna talk about what I've noticed. And as you can see, I've added two accessories to the Avata. One is being the Dobo ducts, the rib ducts, I think he's calling them. And then two is the filters. And I'm gonna give you an overall impression on these two things. All right, so let's first talk about the Avata and the firmware. Just a quick plug again, DroneWorks. Oops, there goes the Avata. And I have that on camera. All right, so let's restart that video because I just crashed my Avata. It literally fell out my hand, and this is the aftermath here. Not much, just a slight little nick here on the frame. As you can see, just a slight little defect there. But I guess that is proof that these bumper guards really work, because it protected the Avata from a bigger damage, probably, you know, the camera, who knows. But I don't know what's going on with the Avata. It definitely seems to want to kill itself each and every time. But if you want to buy an Avata, whether it's going to kill itself or not, make sure you check it out at DroneWorks. Zach just let me know, and the team over there, that they have more in stock. They have the standalones in stock, and they will ship out immediately. And also, if you're looking for the regular remote, they also have it over there. And then I now have the FlyMore package. So I have 3 batteries in total. You definitely need FlyMore when flying FPV, because just the normal, 8 minutes of battery and then 40 minutes to charge these things is not going to be enough. And it's going to be counterintuitive to your creativity and just the hobby overall, which is flying this thing. But let's jump right into 3 things that I want to talk about the Avata, having owned it now for like 2-3 weeks. Number 1 is just the firmware update that was just released in September, the .200. It doesn't say much, it just says bug fixes. And just want to give you what I noticed as a change on this thing. And then I want to talk about Ken's duct guards because I think these are really good for a few reasons. So I'm looking at my phone, just reading the firmware release notes from DJI, and I'll probably just also showcase some flying around this office park here that I like to visit when I'm testing new things. And this firmware was released on September 14th, so I'm a little bit late to install it. The aircraft firmware is 01.01.200, and there's a big list of items on what it did, what's new, and here it is: optimized flight safety. Optimized flight safety. I hate when DJI does that. They don't really tell you the ins and outs. Tons of people on this DJI forum here saying, what is optimized flight safety? Probably means that they put some more restrictions on the drone. Who knows? But I did go ahead and take it up and fly it for a few. I flew it just 1 battery when I did the update, and I am noticing a little bit more smoothing. It's smoother when you do some certain banks and turns. I don't know if it's just like a mental thing because you got a firmware update and you think that it's better, but I just noticed that the stability of it was a little bit smoother, if you will. overall, especially when making some turns. I know that turning has been quite an issue for some people, some owners of the Avata. Seems that when you do some harsh turns, your drone kind of spirals out of control. Probably just prop wash and then you lose your drone. But now let's get to the interesting part. The interesting part is Ken's rib mounts. What is he calling this? All right, so the official name for Ken's DJI Avata duck guards, it's called the Ribbed Rider. And you can actually tell by the name it's called Ribbed Rider because of the ribbed riders that it has along the edges. And I think that is scientifically done so that it can absorb impact in case of a crash. In this case, like my crash that just happened now, out of my hands, I think it does some wonderful shock absorption protection against that impact. And it comes in various colors as of now. Ken did add some more colors. He has black, yellow, lime green, and ice blue. I personally feel like if you're gonna buy one of these, you should get a bright color such as the yellow, lime green, and even ice blue. Black on black is pretty nice, but you want these things to kind of pop on your Avata so you can easily find it in case, God forbid, you do crash and you have to find it, your battery pops out, you don't have a beeper. Also, you want to be able to, see it based on the bright colors, obviously. Now, installing these were actually relatively very easy to do. All you have to do is just really snap it on. It has some TPU clips at the bottom and it snaps on. And they actually feel the print overall. It doesn't feel like 3D printing. It feels like something of very high quality. I was very impressed just taking it out the box. I'm not just saying this because of my relationship with Ken. I've purchased some 3D prints in the past that's been complete shit, if you will, and these actually feel premium and very high quality. And in fact, my 3D print came from his California office, which I think the guy there that prints it out is Ethan, and it wasn't printed by Ken, so that goes to show that, whatever they have in their settings is true quality because it's consistent regardless whether you get it in Florida or in California. Just thought I mentioned that. And then once I installed the rib riders, a lot of people say, well, you're adding more weight. Do you notice a difference in your flying and the characteristics of the quad? And I'll say no. It actually flew very similar to it with having no ducts. There was nothing that was really noticeable. The sound of the motors sounded exactly the same. Maneuvering and flying, turning, taking those banks and increasing your altitude and decreasing, everything seemed pretty normal. I didn't notice any difference at all having these ducts. The one thing I did notice is aesthetically, these things are very sexy and it just makes your Avata stand out. So here in my hands, I have 3 Cinewhoops. I have the ProTech 35 yellow, as you can see. See how like the yellow adds that nice aesthetic to your drone, to your quad, whatever you want to call it. Then here I have my very first Cinewhoop, which I still love. It's a 6S Bumblebee from iFlight. This is the V1. This guy is the OG. This is what started my FPV journey. And now we have the Avata. And as you can see, when we look at all of them here combined, the one thing that stands out is that they're all yellow. And they pop, they truly pop. And I think that you want to have a drone that pops in FPV, again, for the obvious reasons that I already shared. And that is so that you can easily find it in case of a crash. And then if you have a spotter with you, right, it's easily to track. I'm actually here with my buddy Ray. And the one thing he said, and I wish I had recorded the audio of this, is he said, wow, I can see your Avata from miles away. And I wasn't flying miles away because obviously I'm in the parking lot, but you know what I mean is, he's just able to keep visual line of sight to this little thing. All right, guys, so that concludes my video today. This was more vlog style, but I wanted to give you just 3 quick updates, 2 accessories, one being OriginalDobo's ducts for the Avata, the Freewell filters for the Avata, and then just a firmware update overall. I've been out here really updating all these guys thanks to my buddy Ray. He's been helping me update to Betaflight 4.3. If you have FPV drones, you should definitely update because it just makes it quite easy to install a lot of presets and PID tunes. You can get all your favorite YouTubers or FPV pilots, I should say, PID tunes relatively easy. That's what we've been doing. And then also, FYI, I have a video coming out on this guy right here. This is the Blue Yeti power bank. This thing has been an absolute beast. I'll save you some details on the specs, but I mean, it's lightweight, and I've been charging LiPo batteries. Yesterday, I charged 8 LiPo batteries on this, and I was still at 70% capacity, which is incredible. I have a full video coming out soon. Thanks to Blue Yeti for sending me this. And stay tuned, because we have a lot more content coming up, and some mix of Puerto Rico travel vlogs and Dominican Republic travel vlogs, because I have those already recorded. I just need to edit them and put them out there. But until next time, peace out.